What's going on, guys? Today we're checking out an interesting setup here. We are going to use Google's Project Stream, and we're going to play Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I've tried it out, and I have to say, it's pretty good. I was a little surprised at how well this works. The last time I really tried anything like this was on live. That feels like that was a long time ago at this point. But I did do on live, and on live was it was okay. It wasn't the best. It just, some stuff just didn't work well, I think, when I was playing it. I was like, okay, I don't know about this. But Project Stream actually feels good. Now, we do need to talk a bit about game streaming because it's not for everyone. Like, I don't think I'll use game streaming that much, but I see why it's being pursued now because it actually does work. It does. So we're at the screen here, and when you first install Assassin's Creed Odyssey, you have to make a Ubisoft account and everything. That's pretty standard. There's nothing new there. But what was really cool to me is there's, of course, no install time. I've also plugged in an Xbox One controller to try using that rather than keyboard and mouse. So I actually have not used one of these Xbox One controllers on Project Stream yet. So I thought we'd try it out first time right here and see how it would be for somebody who maybe just set it up, you know what I mean, like wanted to play it. So here we are at the screen, and we're just going to go here. You click play more. And this is what's going to happen. We get to refresh the page, and it's going to get us set up just like that. So now we wait. I assume it's calling to a server to get us set up, and we're in. That's real time how quick it is to get us in. Now we'll see how it picks up the Xbox One controller, because that's something that I really have not tried yet. So I'm hoping it works out all right. We'll see. Press A button. So it has found the Xbox One controller just like that. Of course, the Xbox One controller is one of the easier ones to use because it does have drivers built into Windows 10. You plug it in and it just works. So as long as you have a good USB cable for it and everything, it'll be fine. So this isn't really about the stream. I really don't like the cursor that they use in Assassin's Creed Odyssey for the menus. Like, why does a game need that? Anyway, when you're in Project Stream, you cannot change the settings for video. So you can't play around with resolution, you can't play around with effect settings, nothing like that. It's all pretty straightforward. All I can do is brightness, and that's kind of about it there. You can play around with some of the gameplay. You can change, of course, anything on the HUD. It actually feels very similar to a console game at this point. They just kind of pulled those settings away. Now, it's possible they could add them later or something, but it seems like they have a set thing set up here. So let me drop in, and we'll kind of run around here, and you guys can get an idea of how it looks when it's being streamed. Now, my internet connection is, I think, pretty good, but I do know a lot of people tell me that it's not the greatest because the upload speed is not amazing. You're seeing, I ran a quick test. You're seeing it at the bottom here. The upload is like 30 or 40 up. The download is like 400 something. So Comcast, for some reason, they can't get their upload where their download is. So that's basically what I'm limited to there. So this is what it looks like here. And what I do notice is you can see some artifacting similar to like a YouTube video or Netflix being streamed. You can see kind of some of those artifacts in the video here, as you're kind of seeing. So it kind of reminds me a bit of like a YouTube video, right? If it's buffering or rendering or something, where you see that. Something I noticed, though, the text is very clean. Like, I don't know if that's separate, being sent separate from the game or whatnot, or it's just harder to tell on static text. The text actually looks much better than the game itself, but this is me playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey, not on this computer. So this computer is barely being used to do this. It's all being done through servers on Google's side, and we're kind of moving around here. The thing that I was very, very unsure about when it comes to game streaming is the latency, right? I have to say the latency is pretty good for a game like this. A fighting game, a Twitch shooter like a Call of Duty, you're probably going to run into issues still, but for a slower paced game like this Assassin's Creed, I'm impressed. I have to give them credit. It actually works. I'm also wired directly in from my computer to the router and everything, so I'm not wireless. Maybe if you test it through wireless, it's going to be the connection is going to be slower. But like, here's the stick, and if I just go ahead and move, So it's pretty good. I have to give them credit, okay? This is definitely not the on-live service that I've been used to before, and it's definitely better than PlayStation Now. What Google's doing here is pretty impressive, and I understand why Microsoft is, at this point, pursuing this with phones, right? Because that is the end goal. Let's be real. This isn't for maybe you or me who has an Xbox One X, a PlayStation 4, a Switch, who wants to play their games locally. This is for maybe somebody who has one of the systems, right? And then a game comes out that's not on that system, but you still want to play it. You don't want to go out and buy a system for one game. This is actually a really cool way to do it. Like, let's say you're not a big gamer, you play, like, older games, and you see this Assassin's Creed, and you're like, oh, that looks really cool, but I don't want to go out and buy a PlayStation 4 for it, or an Xbox One, or build a PC. I just want to play it. Well, imagine starting up Chrome, and it's like, hey, you want to play this? Here you go. It's compelling, to say the least. And it was pretty cool. There's no install time, no nothing. So here we are now. We're going through some text. This is in the very beginning of the game, and I'm gonna go through this text kind of quickly because I do know we start to get to like combat. So we'll be able to actually do some fighting. I did some earlier on the way here. I'm much further on my Xbox One, but when I saw the beta invite for this, I had to jump in and try it out because it was just too interesting to not. So I'm going to go through here. We're going to jump through these dialogue. But I mean, look at like the character in the video. This, like the actual rendering, everything looks clean compared to what I'm used to with on live and PlayStation Now. PlayStation Now looks way worse than this. And here's the thing about this situation when it comes to, let's say, you know, Google versus like Sony trying to stream this stuff, or on live at the time. Google and Microsoft, both of those two, and you could even throw Amazon in there, but definitely Google and Microsoft, who are taking a shot at this, have much better servers in terms of server power. We know, of course, Microsoft has Azure and everything, so they're going to be sprinting out of the gate pretty quick in 2019 with their mobile phone stuff. But man, I am impressed. Okay, so the game streaming here is impressive, considering you could play Assassin's Creed on your netbook. Is very compelling for somebody who maybe you just see a game and you want to play it without having to, yeah, that's fine. We're just going to pick a horse. I get to apparently play this through through this streaming until, I think, January 15th or something. It's a while. I'm not going to be playing it as much through here because I'm further on the Xbox One, but just some of my testing, I'm impressed. I really am. It doesn't look as good, okay, as my Xbox One or local or anything. But we're going to get into some gameplay here. We're going to ride around on this horse and everything. And I'll get to go fight some guys, and we'll see how it feels in combat here in a minute when I get through some of this stuff. There we go. Okay, cool. So we are now riding on the horse, and the times that I really notice, like, artifacting and stuff, is when the camera moves quickly, things like that. This is supposed to be, according to them, 1080-60. I don't think it's 60 completely, because I do notice slowdown at times. It doesn't feel as smooth as if I'm obviously playing locally. But playing this on a netbook is pretty cool. And of course, it's also going to come down to cost. What is this going to cost exactly to do this? Is there a monthly fee? I don't know yet. Or do you just buy them from Google and you can stream it, and of course they get a cut from selling it to you in their store, and that's enough to keep things going? I'm not sure. I don't know what Microsoft stuff's going to be, if it's really going to... Because once it starts costing money, then you might run into an issue. Like, I mean, like, subscription-wise. If it's something you can just buy in their store, and it just streams, you're going to have people way more interested. Like how YouTube, you technically just go on there and you just watch video. If you don't have to even, like, think about it, it's going to be pretty cool. So, let's, yep, alright. So we're going to take care of these guys real quick.
Keep quiet.
So we're going to start sneaking around here in this part, and, okay, yeah, crouch. So we're going to crouch in here, and we're going to get these guys. He's going to come closer, and we'll assassinate him, but I'll be able to whistle at some guys and get them to move over to me. So let's assassinate this guy. There we go. And let's kind of move up here. Like, I can kind of look at this grass, and it does look a bit blurry. It just looks like you're watching. It's just kind of like watching like a YouTube video, sort of, except it's in game. it's kind of neat. I will say, game streaming technology has come a long way, from what I remember, and I do think it's viable at this point. With a couple of, I guess, caveats. You have to have a good connection. They are asking you to have 25 megabit connection down. Now, a lot of people in certain areas of the US definitely have that, but not everyone does. Not everyone. So I'm not going to say everybody can obviously play this, but I do think quite a few people can. And it's interesting that you don't have to buy a $300, $400 machine for that to happen. And then the other question is, what about data caps? Like, what does this do to your data? And that's another question, because we do have the 5G rollout coming in the next couple years, and that's why Microsoft is pushing towards cell phones, and why I think you'll see Google do the same thing, since they do Android and everything. They're part of that. You'll probably see them roll it out to there. Let's get rid of... All right, got rid of everyone here. So I am impressed. I think game streaming is viable at this point. I think if this became a thing where you signed into your Chrome browser, and all of a sudden it's like, hey, do you want to play the new Doom?
Are you all right?
You don't have to buy a system. You just hit this button and you're playing. Or do you want to play the next Assassin's Creed or slower paced games? Doom might be kind of difficult because that does require some Twitch shooting, but the fact that you can just sign in and play it, it's compelling. It really is. But that was a look, guys, at some of the beginning of Assassin's Creed Odyssey on Google's Project Stream. Everything was streamed from their own servers, and my computer basically just had to run it like a video, and of course register some of the inputs from this Xbox controller, but nothing else was like done. Like this computer didn't render any of these visuals like you would normally with a video card and everything. So kind of neat to see. Definitely a step forward when it comes to game streaming. The latency is much better. It has improved dramatically. And now I'm excited to see Microsoft's side of it. We'll check that out too, and that launches, their beta is going to launch at the beginning of 2019 on phones. And maybe it'll be on computers as well. But we're pretty sure one of their devices for next year is going to be a Project Scarlet. One of those devices is going to be a game stream. If they can pull something off like this with Azure and maybe clean up some of the visuals, they might have something, guys. I'm telling you, game streaming, I've been saying it's not viable for a while. You know what? I was wrong. It is. It really is. It's impressive. But let me know what you guys think about game streaming down below. I think we still have a ways to go with infrastructure and things like that. But if you have a good connection, you can play Assassin's Creed through Project Stream whenever they launch it and everything. So pretty cool to see. Let me know what you guys think about this down below. I hope this was interesting to you guys, give you a look at Project Stream and what they're pushing and what the technology has become now. Make sure you guys give the video a like if you liked it. Dislike it if not. And I'll see you guys in the next video.